All right, I'll call the Wednesday, May 8th, 2024 meeting of the Fire Station Building Committee to order. We're meeting in room 120 of Town Hall, also available via Zoom. We do have one member who's remote, so I'll take roll call attendance. Aaron Hunt.
Here.
Todd Lindmark.
Here.
Justin Casanova Davis.
Here.
Justine Nosik.
Here.
Chris Baker.
Here.
Kevin Champagne. Here. All right. First agenda item is public comment. No one is here in the room. No one online. So we'll just move right to the OPM report, Steve.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Good evening, everyone. Is that coming through my screen?
Yep. We can see it.
Okay. All right. So OPM report for May 8th committee meeting. Start off with progress since our last meeting, which was on April 10th. So at this point right now, masonry is complete. Concrete aprons and equipment pads have been poured. Installation of MEP FP rough-ins are ongoing throughout the building. Plumbing fixtures have started to be installed. They're expecting to get permanent power to the electric room at some point next week. Electrician's been coordinating with Eversource. The MDF room prep for the fiber installation was performed, and the racks, both from Bright Light and racks that Tan purchased, have been delivered and are currently in the room. Sheetrock installation, acoustic bats, and taping now is ongoing on the first floor. Second floor is complete. Painting, both interior is ongoing and exterior, started this week. Ceiling grid started this week. Epoxy flooring is complete everywhere except the apparatus bay, which is still being used really as a staging area. And you really don't want that going in too early so it doesn't get messed up. And then I think there's a couple of other small areas that still have to be done, but most of the epoxy in the rest of the building is complete. Millwork has started. They started putting in some windowsills and doing some of the millwork baseboard in the day room area. Miss Metals has been back. They've done some work on the stairs, on the training mezzanine, and installed the roof access ladder. Siding is at this point 99% complete. They have a few batten strips to go. They may have had that done today if it hadn't started raining. Continuing roofing is complete except for sheet metal gutters and downspouts. Overhead door installation for all the bays is complete except hooking up the motors, but they do operate by hand. Site work drainage, the apron prep, grading, and prep for binder has been ongoing. The site work subcontractor Jones has been coming on weekends to do work when the area is less congested with vehicles. And then the station alerting system rough-ins have started, as well as the audio-visual rough-ins. And like I said, the town supplied data racks were delivered. So photo documentation for the past month. We did get some additional photos from Andy Baknowski. These are the latest ones he took on Sunday the 5th. Obviously, that's an overall view showing both stations. And you can see here that there's a section on the north elevation of siding that's not complete. That now is fully covered. It's just some of the battens that they have to finish. Question?
No. Oh, Aaron, sorry, do you have a question?
No question, sorry.
Okay.
Again, another photo, aerial photo. This is sort of taken from the northeast elevation. I guess with the drone over the existing station. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Next photo is the south elevation, so the southeast. You can see the concrete apron has been poured for the two rear half-bay overhead doors. And there's just sort of an overhead view of that reinforced concrete apron. It will continue with a bituminous concrete asphalt paving out to the parking lot. Another aerial view. This is from the west side, the church side. Sort of showing it. You've got your shingle roofing complete, your membrane roofing complete, both on the higher and the lower sections here. The training deck, and you can just see the dining room deck in the background. And we also have the concrete apron at the front three half-bay doors. There's more to go, but it's getting into the area where we're going to have to be doing demolition. So there's a little bit of timing on the apron and on the remaining overhead doors. This is southwest aerial view, a little bit lower. And then the front view, it really shows the apron. Again, this is all reinforced concrete. And then from this point toward the street will be asphalt. It's more of a ground level view of the front elevation. It was a couple days earlier. You can see less of the siding. It's where they were working from the 1st into the 5th. Again, this is ground view elevation from the church parking lot of the west side, and then up on the hill, the south side of the building. Going inside, we've got the view of the air handling unit 2 in the turnout gear locker room, which was of concern as far as access. All of those panels open down, and as we discussed, we are putting in a purchase order for a man lift, which I'll go over the update on shortly. It's a photo of some of the utilities in the apparatus bay, and I just sort of want to point this one out. The electrician, I think I've done it before, the electrician's attention to detail. All of these conduits have multiple bends in them, but they are within a half an inch of each other. The foreman really takes some pride in his work. You'll see it throughout the building, but I thought that was a good view of some of the quality that's going into this installation.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Steve's saying. This electrician has done an outstanding job, as had a lot of their other trades. I think the siding contractor's done a great job. Can't give Castagna more kudos for what they've been doing on this project.
Great, thanks, Ron.
Next photo is just showing the training stair 2, a couple of the D-rings that they'll be using for training for repelling activities within the stairwell itself. And this is a close-up view of another D-ring. This is on the training mezzanine itself. It's the one that opens up onto the app bay. They're really not going to go anywhere. Next photo, just a sort of an update. I sort of take this photo every time. This is the day room, starting to get some actual color paint on. Really sort of look at what's going on. And like I said, the millwork guy has started in this area, putting on sills in the windows, and he's got some base up as of today, and they'll probably be in the building for the next few weeks. Next photo is the view of the dining room / kitchen. Dining here, kitchen in the back, and then the doors that open up onto the dining room deck. Next photo just showing that the fixtures are starting to go in. This is one of the toilet rooms. And as you can see, they've got these walls have the tile on them. They're protecting everything. We sort of mentioned it nonstop since finish has gone in to protect what's there. They've got ram board down on the floor also. Next photo is a view of the MDF room. A lot of conversations on how that's going to be set up with Tan, trying to make sure that we're giving him what he needs and in order to not only to provide services to the fire station, but he's bringing some stuff from town hall to use as a hub. So there's your cable tray. That's been located. The racks are going to go under this cable tray, and you can see a lot of the Cat 6, Cat 6A cable pulled in from throughout the building. Next photo is progress on the one-story training room. See, sheetrock is up now, and a lot of the bottoms of the trusses are now wrapped, and in between the sheetrock wraps will be the acoustical ceiling. So they've sort of worked towards this section of the building. So this is sort of the last area for siding for sheetrock as they move across the building. Next photo is just sort of an interesting photo of the mezzanine, the training mezzanine as seen from the floor of the apparatus bay. Here's the two training windows that have been installed by the Miss Metals contractor out of tube steel, and then you got the beam running out along the underside of the deck. All this is and obviously gates and rails to keep it safe, but all of this is for training for the firefighters. That was also where that one D-ring was shown that they'll be able to clip onto. Next photo, just the rear area of at the overhead doors. Again, this is the apron in the rear of the building, and you can see in the background this is the concrete pads that have been poured. One is sort of it's just the sidewalk access to the door, but the far one is where all the condensing and canopy units are going to go that are going to be set up outside. And just another view of it with the red doors. This photo is based showing your front overhead doors and then your metal panel fascia that's finishing off the canopies that run over the overhead doors. This photo is from last Saturday with the site guys on site prepping for the binder that was scheduled for Friday, but it's been pushed to Monday because of weather. And this last photo is from today, just showing that the painter has started. This is what he started on Monday. Obviously, when weather was good, started spraying the polyash siding in the back. Any questions on progress?
Anyone have questions? No, doesn't sound like it. Steve?
Okay. So schedule look ahead. Try to close this up a little bit. Installation of gutters and downspouts, complete the overhead door motors, and complete interior sheetrock and taping on the first floor. Continue interior and exterior painting. They're planning on starting to hang the interior doors next week. Installing storefront aluminum doors. They don't have an exact date on that, but they're pushing to get those delivered for the main entry and some of the exterior doors. They want to continue with the ceiling grid on the second floor. continue with millwork, start the casework, continue MEPFP rough-ins first and second floors, and then start finishes. Install the generator. That should be coming this month. Then the installation of AHU 1 and AHU 3. That at this point, as of today, that it looks like it's going to be the end of this month. Complete the switchgear and connect to permanent power, which is planned for next week. Continue site work and drainage and install binder cores scheduled for Monday. And getting the fiber line pulled into the MDF room by Comtract, which is scheduled for next week. So at this point, Castagna's application for payment status through payment 14, which is April, they are approximately 72% complete. As far as schedule, right now the project is on time. Substantial completion is June 15th. We're thinking that they may need a couple additional weeks due to the delivery of the generator and AHUs being in May. Again, generator right now delivery is May, as well as the two AHUs, and storefront they're trying to get a confirmed date. Move in is still at this point is we're planning for July, and final completion at the end of August, which is still per contract. Next item, the AHU and 2 and 3 access for maintenance. The update on the Genie lift. So because of the cost, first cost estimate we got being over 10,000, we did go and got in touch with 5 local dealers, and we got that right off of the Genie lift website. 2 of the firms stated that they were not going to provide a quote. We did get a quote from 3 others. Firm A was $12,799, includes delivery, 1-year warranty, and a 15-week lead time. Firm B was $12,879, very close. Delivery and warranty included, but a 25-week lead time. And Firm C, which is a little bit less at $12,175, they included delivery, did not include a warranty, and we're at a 24-week lead time. So we have requested a purchase order be issued to Firm A based on their price, warranty, and the shortest lead time. So we wanted to have any discussion on that before I moved on.
Yeah, so this was sent to Justin and I yesterday. I mean, it's within the amount that we can approve. I just wanted to have Steve mention it so everybody was aware we weren't going with the exact lowest price, but we are getting a warranty for the extra, $600. So
Seems reasonable.
we felt that seemed reasonable, but it gets much of a lead time.
And it's a much shorter lead. It's a 9-week quicker delivery, because we want to get it there, because that's what we agreed to do for the maintenance aspect of the units.
Okay.
So
yeah, so we'll have Todd move forward with Firm A.
Okay, that's great. As far as the dedication plaque and Mass Save, I know Ron's going to talk about those after my presentation. Then part of what was asked was just sort of an update on FF&E. So we had budgeted $300,000 for FF&E at the time that we developed the total project budget. Right now, we've got some things that purchase orders have been issued. Some are right now in pricing, but we have numbers for them. The furniture is a purchase order issued. That's set at $178,662. Task chairs we're pricing. We kept 12,000 for that. I think it's going to be much less, but until we have those chairs locked in, I'm going to leave that number. Dining table, we have a purchase order issued for $99,660. Fitness equipment is in pricing, but we have 3 quotes. We're trying to make sure we've got apples to apples, and we got a quote of $14,762. Kitchenwares, we've got some pricing back. but the 5,000 is our budgeted amount until we finalize. The deck grill, the chief got a quote for that. That was 1,000. The genie lift we just talked about. SCBA washer, that's right now in pricing with the budgeted number of 25,000, as well as the EMS tracking cabinet for $25,000. And then toolboxes, it's sort of like a Granger type purchase order. Again, no PO has been issued, but we're carrying 5,000. That may be lower. So with all those, we're at 289,183. We're still below our budget amount. We're not touching any owner contingency. So we got a little under $11,000 left in that. So like I said, some things are put away and on order. Some we're finishing up and getting. We'll be sending requests for purchase orders to Todd. Change order status. I had presented this slide at the last meeting. We were still working through some numbers with Castagna. We haven't issued the official change order yet, and as you can see, a couple have changed. So the price went up because we deleted a credit, and it's not that it's deleted. The work is still there, but the pricing has changed. So we're still working through that. The fitness ceiling went down about $1,000 because there was some issues I had with what was submitted originally. So we're still working to put that through, hopefully this week. But again, all the other PCOs on here I had presented before. So change order status, again, this hasn't changed too much. Change orders issued to date, original construction contingency. The potential PCOs, I've updated that because some new PCOs have come in. But we're still at $370,000 in our construction contingency, which is just shy of 37%.
And just a reminder to everybody about those projected change orders. I think, Steve, we put together sort of a worst case scenario. Like, what if every single trench they need to dig in phase 2 was ledge? What if we doubled the cost of hazmat abatement and paid a change order for the whole thing? So, I think what Steve was asked to do is put together, like, what's the worst that could happen when we start phase 2, do the demo of the building and finish the earthwork. And that's how that number came up. That's not like any PCOs that we're reviewing or any PCOs that Castagna's put together.
Yeah, that's a note forecast through phase 2. The submitted ones and what I was asked to forecast. So, Ron's right, and we had gone over it at the last meeting. It's good to remind everybody. I did basically calculate if the entire area that has to be excavated for drainage and the large rain garden where the existing building sits now was ledge, what would that cost? So that's in there. I don't think, well, I'm hoping, knock on wood, that isn't the case. And that 520,000, we don't get anywhere near it. But if we want to be ultra safe, that's a good way to do it. And then my last slide is basically sort of wrapping up the construction contingency based on those worst cases. What the remainder of the soft cost is. The owner contingency we haven't touched, still at 301. So again, overall contingency remaining on the project, given the fact that I've got worst case scenarios for phase 2, is still at almost $789,000. That's all I have.
Okay. I have one quick question on the contingency for the construction contingency. Just the already submitted ones and the forecast. I don't know if anybody else would like it seen this way or shown this way, but could that be separated out going forward?
So we have an idea of what has already been submitted in those line items and what is a forecast. Because I think it's great that we're keeping an eye on what it could be, but it'd be nice to know what the difference in the numbers is.
So how much of that 520,000 is more real?
Yes, exactly. Because, as we're getting through that abatement and, the potential for ledge, that number is going to slowly decrease.
Yep.
Well, the already submitted is going to pretty much stay the same or, potentially go up a little bit as we work through it.
Yeah, Chris, I can do that. That's not an issue. Very
Yeah,
simple.
thank you.
Yep.
Thanks. Any other questions on the OPM? Okay. Next item, we had two other discussion items, the dedication plaque list and mass save update.
Mhm.
Ron, do you have any
Yeah.
preference in what order we do or those or?
Well, let's talk about the mass saves first, because that's the easiest discussion.
Yep.
Less typing on my part. I expect you to have all the names ready for the dedication plaque, right? So
Close.
so mass saves, we were on a call with them last week, and Justin was on the call with us. So first of all, they again congratulate you on everything that you've done. It's awesome. They are going to send one of their representatives down to the site as soon as we get close or at substantial completion. That person is going to come to the site, walk through the building, and make sure we did everything we said we're going to do. When that happens, you will get a check for $2 a square foot, plus all of the adders for the energy efficiency systems that you've used. And then there's a second part to this. So they're going to come back in a year, and let's talk about the year. So what we've asked them to do is when the building opens in June or July 1st or whatever, whenever this, because they're going to be done mid to late June, fire department will move in because of all the furniture. And then once that happens, you're going to turn everything on and everything's going to be running for occupancy. But there's a shakeout period like there is on every project. And so Mass Save has agreed to, if we say we're ready on January 1, 2025, that's when they're going to start the clock ticking. And remember that the building comes down, all the site work gets finished. Some of that includes your site poles for site lighting and such. So all that really needs to be done before they start tracking everything. So they're going to be done with all of that, say mid-October. We've said January 1, Mass Save has said, that's great. If it's January 1, we start the clock. If it's February 1, we're fine with that too. They're going to ask, so all the metering and monitoring that we have in the building, they're going to ask for updates throughout the year. Like how are things going? Like, how much are you spending in electricity? Not so much the money side, but what are you actually spending or expending in terms of the energy? How many kilowatt hours are you spending every month? And how does that align with the energy model prediction? So you can go ahead and do that on your own, or what they recommend, and they will pay half of it, is to hire a consultant to come in monthly or quarterly to look at your invoices from your utility company, to look at the amount of kilowatt hours, because they'll be able to say to you, hey, something's not right. Like you're using this much electricity to run your heating system. Based on the predicted energy model, there's something wrong. And they can go in and help diagnose what the issue is. And maybe you have to recalibrate the VRF cartridge. Maybe you have to calibrate a pump that's moving around the refrigerant in the building, which will stop that energy drain. Now the deal is that you actually have to pay for that, and they'll split it with you, but typically that's a good amount of money to have somebody like that on the consultant side doing it. So keep in mind that at the end of your 1 year period, if in fact it's verified that you have operated at a less than 35 killer BTUs per square foot for that year, you get another check for $1 or $1.50 a square foot, which in your case would be about $40,000. So one of the things that, and you don't have to decide today, and we're going to work with Mass Save and Steve to actually get you quotes from a commissioning agent, because that's ultimately what this would be, is a commissioning agent, and whether they work like, and we think, frankly, that the green engineer would be the right firm to do, because they were the Mass Save technical advisor. So they were hired by Mass Save at the beginning of the building to give them advice and review all of our design. So if we carried them forward as your energy consultant for that first year, that would make sense. If their price comes in too high, or you decide, well, do we really want to do that? Steve, Vertex, they're working with a commissioning agent who's actually part of this project, who's been reviewing the energy models, reviewing the plans and specs, reviewing the work on site. So they're also familiar with the project. So you're going to get a price from two different people who are very familiar with the job, both of whom can do this. But I think Mass Saves also just wanted to put out there that, let's say this costs you $40,000. Let's say you get paid $40,000, right? With your second check. You don't make any additional money back. And because your project is so small, Mass Save had said, maybe it makes sense for you to just run the building the way we've talked about running the building, on a sustainability level of, the chief has to make sure that the lights don't stay on all night. And then at the end, if it's less than 35 EUI, then you get your $40,000 check. If it's more, then you don't get it. And I guess Mass Save's point to that is, if this were a much larger project, it would make financial sense to hire a consultant, because you're going to spend 40,000 to get 200, but spending, and I don't know if it's 40,000, frankly. I mean, that's a stretch. I think whatever the number comes in, we can review it then, and you can decide then. But that's the process. The process is they're going to have somebody come in at the end of 2025, whether it's January of 2026 or February 2026, review all of your bills and give you another check, if you're under that EUI of 35. And our predictive energy model is 32 right now. So, fingers crossed. I don't have a crystal ball, but I am hoping, I'm hoping it won't be an issue. Let's put it that way. And so that's the Mass Save update. I don't know if you have any questions about that.
Now, let's say it comes back that it's above 35. We could then go, and the town, I guess we wouldn't be doing this still at that point, but the town could then go and get this consultant to help diagnose that issue if they determined it was severe enough, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you could say, oh, well, all right, well, we're not going to get our $40,000 check, but we did spend an inordinate amount of money on hot water.
In that situation, would that cost still be split?
No, they're out at that point. Like, in other words, that their process is, they'll track this for you for 1 year, or they'll review this for you in 1 year. And if you've achieved and verified what you've done, you get your second check. The real bulk of the money is up front. The real bulk of the money. And that's why they hire someone like the green engineer, or on another project, we're working with Stephen Winters Architects, because they do a lot on the energy side of things. Those technical advisors, they're paid by Mass Save to do their due diligence. So I think there's a very high level of confidence at this point that your building will perform if it's actually operated the way we've talked about. So I think their next step is, let's just make sure you're doing it, and we'll give you another bit of money. And that's why there's such a big difference between the first check and the second check. But Justin, to your point, for what it's worth, I think we would recommend on a building like this, and even, Todd, on all your public buildings, if you get things recommissioned every 3 years, it makes a big difference. Paying somebody to come in and make sure that all your pumps, all your equipment, all your filters have been properly changed, all of your maintenance, your ducts aren't leaking, because they'll check the duct pressure. I think there's value in that. If you spend X number of dollars and you can get X times 2 back in energy savings between all of your buildings townwide, It just makes sense. And that's why a lot of, you hear about cities and towns that do that. And they do it for a reason. I don't think there's a city or town out there who's recommissioning their buildings. Like I know Cambridge does it. I know the city of Boston does it on several of their buildings. I know a lot of companies like Biogen and Genzyme who do it. They're not doing it because they want to throw money away. They're doing it to save money. So.
Right. So you suspect the next meeting, you might have some quotes or shortly thereafter?
Yes, Steve's gonna reach out. Well, first of all, I gotta get the thing from Trevor. Trevor's the fellow from Mass Save. He's gonna send us, I guess he's got a protocol that they follow, what they're checking for and so forth. And it's kind of like a scope of work. And so when we receive that from Trevor, I will send that off to the green engineer. And then Steve can take it and give it to CES. Sorry. WSP, wrong job. And we can get you a quote. So easily by the next meeting, you'll have quotes in hand. So we'll send it to you as soon as we get it, and then you all can review it and decide. I can share my screen. Or is there any other questions? Concerns?
Look like it.
All right, I'll just throw it out there that with all this money you got coming back from Mass Saves, plus all the contingency, Steve and I were talking about bonuses. Were we talking about bonuses today? What were we talking about bonuses about? I think there was a.
I figured you were gonna go the solar panel route, so I'm happy to hear more stuff.
All right. Actually, if you are going a solar panel route, well, we get into that later. So here's the.
We're gonna knock on the door first before you talk about that.
So here's can you see this? Is this big enough?
Yep.
Okay. So the idea here, and if this is based on a couple of, dedication plaques that we've done for a couple of other communities recently. And it really kind of gives a lot of kudos to all of those involved, including some, community members and the firefighters themselves who've been instrumental. So, any progress on this?
Yeah, do you have, I think you were on the email, Ron, where I sent out the Word document where I kind of I didn't edit your diagram here. I basically just made a list.
You made that Word file.
Correct. So if you want to bring that up, basically everything that's listed here is, on your figure, you have, Vertex and Doran Whittier, and thanks to the town. I didn't relist all that. This was just for kind of all the town stuff on either side of the plaque.
Yep, got it. I can share that.
So I can kind of walk through. So this is what I sent out to everybody, and we can see if anyone has comments. But I went through kind of what you put together, Ron, and then also looked back at some of the acknowledgements that we had from the special town meeting, and put together this list that I'm sure there might be people missing from this. So if people have thoughts, certainly speak up. But select board members, I listed the current select board members. I guess technically Kevin Calcutt's no longer a select board member, but I think we're far enough along in this that we don't need to list anyone else. Next was town administrators, and I think Justin had a suggestion if we want to save space. Both town administrators are also listed under the fire station building committee, so we could just list you both there and put town administrator after Blythe's name. So if it comes down to it, we need to save space, that's where we could maybe carve a couple out. The chief had mentioned listing maybe some of his staff or past fire chiefs, so I didn't have those names. So if we want to do that, maybe we take a stab at how many those are and see how it fits.
It's going to be about Coleman, Chief Kelly, Pete, and Chief Wood.
Wood?
Yeah, it's only 4. So total,
Fire chiefs, okay.
past fire chiefs, yeah, it's only 4 total, because that's the 2 immediate past fire chiefs and the 2 immediate past deputies.
So I don't know if you can get me those names or send them to Ron and copy me.
I'll send them to Ron a copy of.
Maybe we list the union as what, I mean, they put out a lot of material when we're trying to get this passed. So if they have an official name.
Yeah, I suppose you could list them as like local, whatever. I don't know what the number
Yeah,
is.
I don't know what it is.
4134.
4134.
Local.
So it'd be like IAFF, local 4134. That would be reasonable.
What were the first acronym that you said?
IAFF,
Local IAF,
IAFF local.
IAFF, local.
International Association of Firefighters.
Okay. All right, and then we had the building committee. And so I listed a couple of past members. I think here is where we could put town administrator after Blythe's name.
Honestly, I would just remove, to be honest with you, it depends on how you want to do it, but if you have town administrator above, just remove life and E from here.
Well, I thought, but you are on the committee. So my thought was maybe you just get rid of the town administrator.
I'm fine with either one.
Yeah.
Just to save space. We don't need to be listed twice.
So we can take the town administrator part off and
Should
just,
I be making these edits? But you're gonna send me something, Kevin, right?
I'm gonna send you something.
Okay, because I missed the names of the past chiefs. Like, I don't know Chief Kelly.
Yeah, I wasn't watching you, Ron, sorry. Yeah, the chief, I can send you this minus the four,
Okay.
any names that the chief has, but
Chief, do you think, can you just scroll up for one moment?
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't know how you feel, instead of breaking past chiefs and firefighters into 2 separate, you could just say like the Norfolk Fire Department and then list the past chiefs and the deputies and then the union below that all in one heading. Might make it a little bit cleaner.
you just call Norfolk Fire Department.
See, this is why you don't want me typing. There's not 2 R's.
Yeah, so I'll update that and I'll send it I'll send it out to everybody and the chief can put in his names. So,
Okay.
all right. And then,
I was gonna say, can I make a personal request?
sure,
Can I be Chris Baker instead of Christopher?
sure. That's why
That
we're
I can
doing
do.
this.
I get that one.
Once chiseled in stone, it's.
Yeah, there's no deleting once it's chilled. So,
Okay,
Saved a couple of those letters.
that's right. So then town department and committees, again, if anybody's missing from this list, let me know. And then I had special thanks for some residents that had an impact on the project. So Donna, Andy, I just listed NCTV, and then my thought was to list Doug since he's a town resident also. Everybody's nodding
With
approval.
its title,
Yeah,
with its title.
Clerk of the Works.
I'm gonna spend my letter savings here. What do you want to spell out NCTV or just leave it as an acronym?
Norfolk
I
Community
think
Television.
pretty much everyone knows what it is,
Yeah.
but it's up to everyone else.
Either way, it doesn't make any difference to me. Donna, do you think they're gonna care one way or the other? Okay, then we'll just say NCTV.
Steve, you're okay with that if Doug's on here, right? As the,
I was just gonna say, you can title him however you want, but we do call him a construction site manager at this point. We're trying to get away from the clerk of the works, but it's,
Construction site manager.
yeah,
okay.
it all means the same thing. So whatever you feel more comfortable with, but I like that. It's Douglas, but maybe everybody calls him Doug. So because he's a resident, I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, let's ask him what he wants.
Do you want to ask him if it should be Douglas or Doug?
Yeah.
Again, we only got one shot at this.
Oh, okay, so the process, Kevin, just so you know, is after you send this to me, we will mark it all up. We're gonna send it back to you and have you initial everybody's line. So, because we don't want to make it twice. And
And
so
they'll
I
be
would,
approved from the sign company too, so.
yeah, I would recommend you kind of send it off to everybody and just, or at least contact folks and say, is it Richard or Rich? Is it,
Yeah, you got one more shot,
yeah, you'll have another shot
at least, at least.
Okay.
And Ron, just so you know, Vertex Companies is LLC, not Inc. Used to be Inc. Not anymore.
Hmm.
I saw that was on,
that's
on
on my
your,
other one. This one.
yeah, the other one you had up before.
Well, that's what happens when you look at something online. Shouldn't trust anything online.
Anyone else on the committee have a,
I know it was mentioned last meeting, but just increasing the font or the visibility of the thank you to the taxpayers, I think is important.
are you gonna send us like once I'll make these edits and resend it, and then the chief can add the names, unless you just want to send me the names, but I'm assuming you're gonna mount it on some template, and then we can see how it all looks, Ron?
Yeah, we can do that. We can like kind of take this and put it on a piece of foam core.
See if
You
we
know,
see
the
if we
size of
play with
everything that it is.
Yeah,
Sure,
play with the
we can
text
do that.
size if we need to.
Yep. We get Doug to do it.
There you go.
And then you're putting the town seal only, correct? Or are we putting more other things? Maybe. if you
I
wanna
didn't
put-
touch, I didn't touch graphics. Hoping somebody else can do that.
So, well, what does everybody think? Do you
What do
want
most municipalities do?
You want to flip back?
What's a common way to go about this? Like, do most places just do the seal? I know I've seen other ones where they show like the front rendering of the building on there, but I don't think that's necessary.
It's gonna be mounted to the front of it.
Yeah.
Mostly it's the seal. It's the
Just step
fire
back.
seal, and the town seal.
So yeah, maybe just town seal.
Yeah, we don't have to do the graphics in the corners.
We can put our,
Do you have a
Fire
sample from another one that you've done, Ron?
Yeah,
we can put our fire patches on the top banner. I think the bottom banner, we can go up, delete, fix. Put the town seal prominent in the middle. And do the fire patches on the top, on either side of that first line.
so here's one. I'll share my screen. So here's one. They had, this is the city of Gloucester. It's the elementary school. They do have the city seal in the middle. They don't have any graphics in the corners. It's really simple and elegant. And to your point, Justin, this is their city seal. So if we put something like Norfolk here,
You could use Norfolk's.
well, right. But I wasn't suggesting to keep the city of Gloucester.
Maybe we can get this one cheap though.
Yeah,
We
but
are gonna need
these,
the picture
like,
file.
we
seal.
can look in the spec. I think this is either cast in bronze or in aluminum. One question always comes in if you wanted to do a graphic on here. I've also seen them done where it's multicolored on an aluminum cast. But I think, Chief, we were kind of thinking if you wanted to add more graphics, you can. If you wanted to have your, any symbol for the union, Justin just sort of referenced a union.
I would be opposed to putting a union symbol on the taxpayer plaque, but I think that mentioning them because the efforts that was done is a nice touch, but
okay.
For me personally, I think it should be separated.
Okay.
I'm just one person.
And on yours, Justin, you said, do we make the made possible by the taxpayers of Norfolk? Is that larger at the bottom? Is that somewhere else?
Yeah, we
It brought up.
Yeah, we talked about it. Maybe a couple font sizes bigger and bold.
Yeah.
Make sure
It certainly is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ron, I don't know if you heard me, but the spec calls for cast bronze on the plaque.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought, but I
Perfect.
didn't.
No color, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're
24.
all thinking no color. So,
All right, so something like that for made possible by the taxpayers of Norfolk,
Yeah, I think that looks
bold
good.
and larger. Yeah, okay.
yeah. Any other? Otherwise, I'll get the updated list, and like Ron said, we'll have another go at this at another
Yes.
meeting. If there's any last minute names we need to add on there. So. Okay. I'll send an edited one over to you, Ron.
Okay, and we're saying no other graphics, right?
I think the top graphic.
Top graphics,
We're talking
I'll
about
give you
doing,
our patch, what we've had as a patch. How long has it been our patch? Since.
yeah,
Just the same thing on each side, the fight upon patch.
Yeah.
All right. So if I remember correctly, our graphic folks in the office are gonna ask me for an EPS file.
Got it.
Vector file?
Vector
I'll send it
file.
to you. Send it to you first thing tomorrow
Okay.
or tonight, but you might not open it, but I'll send it.
No, I will. Steve will be sending me emails till 3:30 in the morning, so.
Because it was on the graphic for the panels, yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right, that's all I had.
Any other discussion items from anyone? All right, there are no meeting minutes to approve tonight, so our only action item is to ask for adjournment. So move. I have a second. Second. All right, we'll take a roll call vote. Aaron Hunt,
Aye.
Casanova Davis,
Aye.
Todd Lindmark,
Yes.
Christina Nosik,
Yes.
Chief Kinney,
Yes.
Chris Baker,
Yes.
Kevin Champagne, yes. See everyone in June. Thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye.